What's up, you guys? It's your favorite fucking DJ in the entire universe. In Game Beats, what's good? And we're back for another fucking episode of the fucking podcast. Now, you guys don't know this, but I took a little break. And I know I was saying I took breaks before that. I also said I took down my Instagram account. But this break was a little bit longer than the first break, so I had to acknowledge that. And it was a well needed break, but it was also a very long break. So I don't know how I feel about those things. Regardless of any of that, let's get right back into the fucking show. So today we are back with more advice from in games. Yay, I know, right? So let's get started with these questions because there's a fucking lot of them. So the first question says, do you believe in the end of the world? Do you believe in the end of the world? I have a weird cousin that only talks about how he has seen it in his dreams like 3 times. He's the weird one in the family, and I'm emo and always dressed in all black. Well, first of all, that's hilarious that you are not the weird one in the family because your weird cousin that sees the end of the world in his dreams. So to answer that question, my answer is, do I believe in the end of the world? Not really. I think that the universe is in some really weird way forever expanding, despite, black holes and all that other jazz. Don't want to get too scientific with you guys, but I feel like the universe is always expanding and that we won't ever really live to see the end of the universe. But as a person that loves that genre of movies, I will give you that I think I would be like an expert survivor. If you guys didn't know, during the end of the world, because I know my shit about surviving an apocalypse because I love those movies actually. Enough of that. So moving on to the next question. The person says, my sister wants to do OnlyFans because she's convinced that she will be able to move out of my parents' house. Should I tell them? What should I do? Oh gosh, these are unhinged. I think that you should definitely tell your parents on her. Not because you should be concerned about her lifestyle or her life choices, but just to snitch on her. It sounds like something funny to do. I have siblings and I hate them all. Being the second oldest is being stuck in the middle in a sense, and I know a lot about being snitched on, and it's not funny when you're being snitched on, but it is very funny when you get the snitch. That's my advice. Moving on. So the next question says, I think my fiance is really bad at cooking and I never got around to telling him. It's almost a deal breaker at this point because he recently started bragging about how great he is in the kitchen. What should I do? Am I the only one that thought you were going to say how great he is in bed? I'm sorry. I don't know. But you should tell him immediately, because if he's not good in the kitchen and he's bragging about it, guess what? He's going to get a big head about it. And if he gets a big head about it, you're going to be the main one to deal with that. And that's not a thing that you should want in your life. So you should just straight up be like, you're not that great at cooking. You're not that bad either. And then slowly ease him into it. Isn't that good advice? See, I'm doing way better at these than I did before. Yeah, I think you should just tell him, because having a big ego about things is not where it's at, bro. Fun fact, The death of egos started with black people when it should have started with white people. Take the information as you want to. So, next question. Um, Someone said, I used to play house and touch my cousin who was only 7 and I was 9. I swear I didn't know why, but I feel like it caused her a lot of trauma and it would catch up to me. Um, that was really weird. Trigger warning. Yeah, um, we're gonna skip that one. So, on to the next question. Why do people of color always fight for visibility in art and music spaces instead of just being seen? Um, this is actually a really good question. It's really stupid, don't get me wrong. Um, and it's just someone being honest as to wanting to know the answer to a question. But I will tell you this, that I don't think black people fight for visibility in cultures for what white people think or what Hispanic people what any other race thinks. But I think that um, we fight for visibility more for representation of the cultures that we feel like we belong to. So I don't think that black people actually fight for visibility to be seen. I think that's just kind of retarded. So don't ask anybody else that question. I think that visibility means we want representation. We want, respect where respect is due. We want to be paid our flowers. We want homage. We want respect. So, I think that, you know, with art spaces like rock music, like metal music, like punk music, the goth culture, mainstream media, black people want to feel that reassurance that white people consistently have their entire lives of feeling the ability to fit in because they see people that look just like them, sound just like them, act just like them, doing the same things that they do in mainstream culture. Now, when it comes to like visibility, when it comes to punk music, when it comes to goth culture, when it comes to metal music, we want to be seen equally, not because we're not equal, but in a sense of we want reassurance where reassurance is due. Everybody deserves, that calm, still voice in their head telling them it's okay to want to try to fit in. It's okay to want to see people doing it that look just like you. It's okay to want people that act like you, sound like you, look like you, to be in the forefront, because that gives you reassurance that everything is okay, that you have the ability to do it, that you have the ability to fit in. And even though that's a really stupid question, I feel like a lot of people in the culture think that because people are always so quick to give in to, oh, it's just a subculture, or they're so quick to give it away that it's even remotely important, when there are also people at the very opposite end of that spectrum that are dealing with struggles to accept that that is who they are. We don't want to hear about it in the in between, about people struggling and you're not giving a fuck about the punk scene because you don't even want to be punk in the first place. Nobody gives a fuck that you lived in the late 80s, the early 90s when punk was cool and you didn't call yourself punk. Nobody cares. There are punk kids today that are being picked on at school, that are being picked on by their parents, that feel alone. There are punk kids that are fighting demons, and they want to know that everything is okay because they can trust um, that everything is gonna be okay by seeing mainstream culture and seeing um, their representation that everything is gonna be okay. And I think that that's very important to not only realize but to also understand. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Make sure that you stay tuned for the next episode. And if you haven't watched the previous episode, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. Yay! And peace out. My name is Ingames, your favorite producer / DJ in the game, and I'll be back.